This week for Alphabet was the launch of an AI that can build video games, a creative breakthrough, or a warning shot to an entire industry. The company unveiled Project Genie, a tool that can generate interactive, playable worlds from simple text prompts, sending shockwaves through the gaming sector. As some stocks tumbled on the news, investors are asking, is this the next frontier for AI-powered content? And what does it mean when a tech giant can conjure a virtual world on command? Welcome to TickerWatch News for Alphabet, Week 5, 2026. This episode covers the latest news and developments for Alphabet as the company makes major moves in artificial intelligence, faces regulatory scrutiny, and prepares to announce its quarterly earnings. Stock snapshot. It was a significant week for Alphabet's stock, which saw its market valuation cross the $4 trillion mark as shares hovered around an all-time high. Investor optimism appears to be growing, fueled by the company's deepening push into artificial intelligence. This comes even as the broader tech sector showed some signs of a slowdown. Analysts have noted positive sentiment, with consensus earnings per share estimates for the upcoming quarter being revised upward over the past month. Investment firms Giverny Capital and Hotchkiss & Wiley both highlighted Alphabet as leading contributors to their fund's performance, citing strong earnings growth and rising investor confidence in the company's ability to turn AI opportunities into real growth. The biggest story this week was the unveiling of Google's Project Genie, an AI capable of creating interactive, playable digital worlds from simple text or image prompts. The research prototype, currently available to Google AI Ultra subscribers, can simulate physics and interactions, generating explorable environments in real time. The announcement had an immediate and dramatic impact on the video game industry, with shares of engine maker Unity, online platform Roblox, and Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two all falling sharply on the news. The development signals a potential disruption to how video games are made, possibly shortening development cycles and reducing costs. Alphabet also solidified its position at the center of the AI ecosystem through key partnerships. It entered a multi-year collaboration with Apple, which will use Google's Gemini models to power the next generation of Apple Intelligence features, including an upgraded Siri. This move is seen as a significant validation of Google's AI technology. Beyond phones, Google is also partnering with Warby Parker and Gentle Monster to develop AI-powered smart glasses featuring its Gemini models. Meanwhile, its AI division, Google DeepMind, continues to attract top talent, reportedly hiring several AI researchers away from Apple in recent weeks. The company's fourth quarter and full-year earnings are scheduled for release after the market closes on Wednesday, February 4th. Wall Street expects a strong report, with forecasts pointing to a 20% year-over-year increase in earnings per share on revenues nearly $95 billion. Analysts are particularly focused on the performance of Google Cloud, which is projected to grow by nearly 36% year-over-year, as well as advertising revenue from YouTube and search. On the regulatory front, Alphabet is facing new pressure in Europe. The European Commission has initiated two formal proceedings under the Digital Markets Act. The first examines Google's obligation to allow third-party developers, including competing AI services, fair access to features within its Android operating system. The second focuses on whether Google is providing rival search engines with fair access to its search data. The proceedings are expected to conclude within 6 months and could lead to mandated changes in Google's business practices. Market reaction and investor sentiment. The market sentiment for Alphabet this week has been largely bullish, driven by its AI advancements. A prediction market on Polymarket indicated that 100% of participants believed Google would have the best AI model by the end of January, reflecting strong public confidence. Analyst commentary was also positive. Wolf Research upgraded Broadcom, citing growing confidence in the scale of Google's Tensor Processing Unit program, which underscores the strength of Google's custom AI hardware. Multiple investment letters, including from Hotchkiss & Wiley and Giverny Capital, pointed to Alphabet as a top performer in their portfolios. They highlighted the company's ability to capitalize on AI enthusiasm while delivering concrete earnings growth, with one letter noting earnings rose about 30% in 2025. Fundamental check-in. From a fundamental perspective, this week's news reinforces the narrative that Alphabet's growth is increasingly tied to AI. The company's valuation surpassed $4 trillion, yet some analysts suggest it still trades at a reasonable price compared to its peers when adjusted for growth. One report noted a trailing price-to-earnings ratio of around 33, which is seen as a discount given the company's AI leadership and strong growth in its cloud division. The collaboration with Apple to integrate Gemini into Siri is a major development for the long-term story. It places Google's AI in front of hundreds of millions of iPhone users, potentially creating a significant new revenue stream and solidifying Gemini's position as a foundational AI model across the industry. The launch of Project Genie further demonstrates a commitment to innovating beyond search and advertising into new forms of AI-driven content creation. However, the aggressive spending on AI infrastructure and the fresh regulatory scrutiny from the EU represent key risks that could impact future profitability and operations. Looking ahead next week, all eyes are on Alphabet's fourth-quarter earnings report, expected on Wednesday, February 4th. The bull case, a strong beat on revenue and earnings driven by accelerating growth in the Google Cloud segment, would confirm AI investments are paying off. Positive commentary on AI monetization, particularly for Gemini and AI overviews in search, could send the stock higher. The bear case, any miss on revenue, particularly a slowdown in cloud growth or weaker than expected advertising numbers, could cause a pullback. Increased capital expenditure without a clear path to monetization remains a concern for some investors, and any cautious guidance could weigh on the stock. The base case, results will likely meet or slightly exceed expectations, showing steady growth in cloud and advertising. Management will highlight the success of AI integrations and partnerships while addressing the costs associated with their ambitious AI roadmap. Investors will also be monitoring for any updates on the European Commission's DMA proceedings, as regulatory actions could present a significant headwind. To recap the major developments for Alphabet in Week 5, Google launched Project Genie, an AI that generates playable video game worlds, causing a major reaction in the gaming industry. The company announced a landmark partnership to integrate its Gemini AI model into Apple's Siri, expanding its AI footprint significantly. Wall Street is preparing for Alphabet's fourth-quarter earnings report next week, with high expectations for growth in its cloud and advertising businesses. European regulators open new proceedings to scrutinize Google's compliance with the Digital Markets Act, focusing on Android and search data practices. The company's stock reached new highs, pushing its market capitalization past the $4 trillion mark amid strong investor optimism around its AI strategy. Thank you for tuning in to TickerWatch. This podcast is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Please consult with a financial professional before making any investment decisions. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode.